all jurors and alternates are present. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, is it any warmer? Yes. No, my days at rubbing sticks together are long past, but the staff's been working at it, and I'm glad. I again apologize for the inconvenience and discomfort. At this time, Mr. Gorgian, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. We call Detective Dan Myers to the stand.
Please stand in the witness box. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please be seated. Please state your name for the record. Spell your first and last names.
Dan, D-A-N, Myers, M-Y-E-R-S.
Detective Myers, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
As the
sir.
investigator in this case, you've been present during most of the proceedings. Is that correct?
I have.
And you've heard the admonishments?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. Do you accept them?
I certainly do.
Thank you. Direct examination by the defense, Mr. Gorgian.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Detective Myers.
Good afternoon, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a detective for the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm assigned to Robbery Homicide Division, Homicide Special.
And how long have you been a detective with the LAPD?
I've been a detective since March of 1994.
And on June 25th of 2009, were you working on that day? Were you in Los Angeles?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay. On June 25th, did you learn about the death of Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. And when you returned to Los Angeles, were you assigned to assist in the investigation of the death of Michael Jackson?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall when that was?
Well, it was immediately after my return. In fact, I was on another investigation. My partner and I were assigned the case immediately. And so I returned home on Sunday evening and joined the investigation that Monday morning.
Okay. Now, as part of your investigation, you interviewed a number of witnesses, correct?
Yes.
And were one of those witnesses Alberto Alvarez?
Yes.
And who is Alberto Alvarez?
He was a security director of logistics for Michael Jackson Incorporated,
Okay.
the Michael Jackson Company.
And when did you interview Alberto Alvarez?
August 31st,
What year?
2009, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And prior to your interview of Mr. Alvarez in August of 2009, were you aware that Mr. Alvarez had given an initial statement to police on June 25th of 2009?
Yes.
And prior to your interview of Mr. Alvarez in August, had you reviewed his statement to officers on June 25th?
Yes.
So you are aware that in his initial statement to police on June 25th, Mr. Alvarez never mentioned putting away any vials for Dr. Murray, correct?
Yes.
And in his initial statement on June 25th, Mr. Alvarez never mentioned seeing a bottle inside a IV bag. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Now, the interview that you conducted in August of 2009, where did that interview take place?
That was in an office building.
Was that in the office of Mr. Alvarez's attorney?
Sustained.
Motion to strike.
There's nothing to strike.
Who was present during your interview of Mr. Alvarez?
My partner, Detective Scott Smith, the witness, Alberto Alvarez.
Was Michael Amir Williams present during your interview?
No, sir.
Okay. Was Michael Amir Williams in the office where this interview was being conducted?
Relevance.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't know the specific time of his arrival. He was interviewed that day. Whether he was in the building at the moment in time that I spoke with Alberto Alvarez, I do not know.
Okay. And was Mr. Michael Amir Williams interviewed in the same location as Mr. Alvarez was?
Yes.
Okay. How about Fahim Muhammad? Was he also at the same office as Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was he also interviewed by you on August 31st of 2009?
Yes.
During your interview of Mr. Alvarez in August of 2009, did Mr. Alvarez draw some pictures?
Yes, he made some drawings.
Showing you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit F. Do you recognize that, Detective Myers?
I do.
Is that the drawing that was made by Mr. Alvarez in August of 2009?
Yes.
And this purports to be of a IV bag, is that correct?
This was a drawing that he depicted showing the IV stand, an attached IV bag with a bottle with a milky white substance inside the IV bag, and then the line on the right side, that's the IV tubing that he drew.
Thank you. Showing you what's been previously marked as Defense Exhibit I. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And is that another drawing made by Mr. Alvarez back in August of 2009?
Yes, it is.
And what does that drawing depict?
This is what he was drawing. It was a device we later discovered was a pulse oximeter that he saw on the fingertips of Michael Jackson.
Just to be clear, these drawings were made by Mr. Alvarez on August 31st of 2009, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was about 2 months after the death of Mr. Jackson, correct?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. And that would have also been 4 days after the coroner's office issued their press release regarding the cause of death in this case, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. The press release was issued on August 27th of 2009, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the press release identified the cause of death as propofol intoxication?
Correct.
Okay. And Detective Myers, would it be fair to say that the 2 months prior to your interview with Mr. Alvarez, the press, the coverage of this case was overwhelming?
Leading up to the, yes, there was a considerable amount of news coverage. Yes.
And were you personally being contacted by different media outlets?
My office certainly was fielding numerous phone calls.
Okay. Now, showing you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 27. Have you seen that drawing before?
No, sir, other than when you showed it to me like right before the afternoon session began.
Okay, so prior to today's date, you had never seen this drawing before and depicted in People's Exhibit 27?
No, sir.
So that's correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Detective Myers. No further questions, Your Honor.
Gorgian, thank you. Cross-examination by the people?
No questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. May Detective Myers step down subject to recall, Mr. Gorgian?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Walgren?
Yes, please.
Detective, thanks you for your testimony. Please remember the admonishments. You may step down. You are to remain on call and are subject to recall.
Yes, Your
You may
Honor.
retake your seat.